Hey everyone. Yeah, I'm filming this with my tablet like this, trying this for a bit, just real quickly. But I wanted to come on here, and before I do, I want to ask you to do me a solid favor, and that's like the video, ring the bell for notifications, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. And go into the description to click on my links where you can find my content elsewhere outside of YouTube. You can find me at all your favorite audio and video podcast platforms like iTunes, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and to an extent, Sirius XM. You can also find me at other video outlets, if you will, like Vimeo, like Rumble.com, Odyssey.com, and Dailymotion. You can also find me over at DeviantArt.com at BVW1979, and you can find me at InkBunny.net at BW Rosas. You can also follow me at places like Twitter, aka X.com. Hopefully it's up by now, and I'll get into that in a moment with this topic. As well as you can follow me at TikTok, and you can follow me at Blue Sky. Also, guys, I have a Patreon. If you want to help support me over at Patreon, I do have plans for that. I'll let you know hopefully before the holiday season starts next week what those plans are. And also, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like, I have a Venmo and a Cash App. You can help support me there as well. And ladies and gentlemen, I have a couple of stores as well online. You can find my new Fourth Wall store. Link is at the top of that. And the old GT Spring store, which has been around for a few years, links are at the bottom for that. So anyway, as I just kind of rest my hand there a little bit. But anyway, outside of that, along with this video premiere, you can also support me. You can also support me over at the live chat during the video premiere. Chime in with your thoughts and everything, as well as also chime in with a super chat if you would like to help donate that way. Also on both occasions at the video premiere and afterwards, comments will be open. And ladies and gentlemen, if you would like afterwards, if you still want to donate afterwards and everything, if you're not here in time for the video premiere, you can do so with the super thanks, which is the little heart in the little heart down below with the dollar sign in the middle, and the subscribe button. Like I said, if you want to do that at the beginning, I should have said this before. Subscribe button will be on the screen depending on how you watch this. Click on that if you want to subscribe to the channel. And like I said at the beginning, ring the bell for notifications, share the video, and subscribe. And like I said, ring the bell for notifications, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and like the video. That's what I was trying to say. But anyway, it's early. I do apologize. It's about, let me check in the room here. It's about 7:40 a.m. And let's get on to the topic here, because this one really took everybody by surprise. It's actually still ongoing as we speak, although there seems to be a lot more positive news coming out of it, although there are still some hiccups being felt, still some sites that a lot of us use still kind of, going in, going out, if you know what I mean. And what I'm talking about is CloudFlare, which is one of their, and I just found this out today when I was having trouble with Sora this earlier this morning. I got up, went to the bathroom, and decided, okay, I'm gonna check Sora 2, which I use to maybe do some creation before I close my eyes again, because I do that kind of stuff, with my VR set or just with the tablet here, and it helps me get back to sleep. Well, anyway, I was trying it out, and all of a sudden something came up. Something was not working. I'm thinking, what's going on here, right? So basically, what happened is after I initially got in there and it looked okay, everything looked okay. All of a sudden, I go to I basically go to refresh, right? Because after I did one video creation, if you will, and then another kind of gave me the third party thing, because again, like I said before, AI is still learning, so it's still distinguishing what's good and what's not. What happened was I went back there, I refreshed. Yeah, it's early, guys. I do apologize. That's why I'm saying I think. That's why I'm using the word I think, or the words I think. Basically, I refreshed it, or I went back there. I think I refreshed it, but also went to another site as well, because I like to multitask at times. So when it comes to certain websites, browsers. Anyway, I went back to it, refreshed, or just clicked, turned it back on. And what happened is I ended up getting this message that I'm sure a lot of you got with other places saying, "Hey, you need to verify." I'm thinking, oh, okay, once in a while they do this, right? Once in a while, sites like this will do it. They'll say verify you're human, so you just gotta, put a check in there and you're good to go, or you gotta solve a little mini game and you're good to go, right? Well, that wasn't the issue this time, because usually when you do that, send you, once you check off, that you're human, you're verifying and all that, or you complete the mini game that's assigned to you. Usually you're good to go, right? You can go right back to the website. Well, what happened is neither of that occurred because it just kept, it kept going. Like the thing after I checked on it just kept circling. Then it went and refreshed itself, went back to the verify your human deal. And I'm thinking, what's going on, right? So I noticed that something's up with it. I'm noticing something is totally up with it, and it feels like the internet's going out. So I look at I look basically. So I take a peek over to my modem here. I take a peek over to my modem and I notice the lights on. I notice the lights on, so I'm thinking it can't be my internet. So I'm thinking, is there an outage going on? Is there an outage? So I look on Twitter because that's one of the first places I go. I go to x.com Twitter and it's out. And I'm thinking, what's going on here? And again, I'm thinking, could it be something in my internet? Although it looks like my internet's fine, because sometimes that does happen. The internet will go out and everything, but it looks like it's on because they're doing maintenance or something occurred, right? Well, I Googled and I found out that there is an outage. There was an outage and it was CloudFlare. CloudFlare had an outage. And nobody knows exactly what caused this. Some people in recent reports came out and said that at least one person that is a part of this, a part of a major, not a major, but part of a knowledgeable technical online situation, online strategy group or business. They said that basically that they don't think it was a DDoS, one of those hacker, DDoS attacks, one of those hacker attacks, right? They don't think it was it. So we didn't know exactly what the answer was. Even Cloudflare wasn't sure, but then eventually they did find out. And now they haven't come out and said anything yet because they're still currently, as I'm recording this, making sure everything is resolved, making sure everything is on the up and up. But basically, one of the first initial reports that came out, according to some people, that Cloudflare, because Cloudflare, like I said, they would update us, on the website as well as they would, let other people, that have websites, forums, and everything that are focused on online maintenance, techno babble stuff, if you know what I mean. And basically, according to one source, they said, and again, this is after Cloudflare said that they found they found the problem. They, identified the issue. One person came out and said that it was because of a lot of traffic. It's like all of a sudden a lot of traffic on their server suddenly hit them, all at once. Some kind of massive traffic hit their server and all the associated websites to that cloud server, almost all at once, and that's what caused the outage. Now, we're not totally sure if that's legit or not. That could be what they're assuming, and maybe they're just hearing from word of mouth, but it's not confirmed yet. But if that's the case, one has to wonder, well, what caused that? I get that, I get that certain, places are, many hours, if not a whole day ahead of us here in the U.S. I get that. you know, um, or us here in the U.S., Canada, Mexico, basically North and South America. I get that, but you have to wonder, like, okay, where did this massive massive flood of traffic come in all of a sudden to the server? Because you can't think that everybody across the world, in their different time zones was up and at 'em way before us. Like I said, even a full day ahead of us. You can't say that they all decided all at once to just, go to all these websites and just flood them with, with their creative prompts through Sora or their research to OpenAI and ChatGPT and so on. You can't tell me they all thought of doing that all at once. No. So my thought My thought has to be this: that the last time we got, we got the word that, basically they had, that I'm not saying it was Cloudflare, but it was someone similar, had a flood of traffic just hit them all at once. The last time we heard this kind of a story, occur, if you will, was, basically when it was revealed that a group of hackers, if you will, a group of hackers, cyber attackers, if you will, made that happen, you know, for extortion reasons, or they made it happen for, hey, we want a job. Because I think the latest, or not the latest, but one of the more notable ones happened years ago on Christmas Day, when this lizard group decided to do something similar to all the PlayStation, all the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, I think, systems. They decided to just wipe them down, or, wipe them out, take them out in a massive server attack that made it look like a lot of traffic was going into Sony's server, and it wasn't. It wasn't people like me or you or anybody else that suddenly decided all at once, oh, let's play the game, let's all go online. No, it was because of this group, and others like them, that caused that to happen. And why did they do it? They did it because they were trying to extort, of all things, a job out of Sony. That's what they were trying to do. So so that could possibly be, what the attack, here with Cloudflare was. Maybe it was a group of people, maybe one individually, but more than likely, more, that decided to do something similar, and that's make it look like a massive traffic of, people coming in, through the server, you know, causing it to crash, causing it to go down. But we're not entirely sure. It could have been something, on their end, and that's another thing as well that got talked about in some of the reports, that around this time frame they had, this time frame, that being today, if you will, this whole day, that they had plans to do maintenance. They had plans to do some maintenance, for Cloudflare, so that way they can, improve things, make sure things are updated up to standards. So one would probably have to assume, what if the maintenance caused an issue? Because we had heard about that in the past, where, when these kind of updates occur, sometimes the updates are not, up to stuff. Like, basically they're not fully checked before they're, issued out, they're sent out, and that causes trouble. I mean, we see what people say about it causing trouble with Windows 11. We've seen it again going back to Sony and the PlayStations with them, and Microsoft, and the Xbox Series and so on, and Nintendo even. So, and even Linux, if you will, and Apple have all gone through something similar. So it's nothing new, when it comes to that. So it could have been maybe that, kind of a situation that caused Cloudflare to go out, for a while, and caused all their associated websites that use their server to be non-functional, be non-compliable, for the consumer, for the potential content creators or AI creators or whatever. That could have been what happened, but we're not sure. It could have been someone that was in charge of the maintenance, but decided, hey, I'm going to use this maintenance opportunity to ruin Cloudflare, because maybe they didn't like the fact that Cloudflare was associated with Twitter, and Twitter is owned by Elon Musk, and he has a connection with Trump. We don't know. We don't know, but hopefully we'll get some answers soon. I know this is making news. I mean, you go online, you Google, you Bing, you'll find, you Yahoo, if you will. You'll see that everyone from NBC News to CNBC to CBS to Fox, I'm sure, are all talking about this, and all probably wondering the same question of how and why how did this happen? Why did it happen? And was there any kind of, like, maybe inside job, that we're not sure of, that made it look like somebody, or made it look like a lot of people were coming online all at once, or, they're going to be asking questions. They're going to be wanting to know the answer, and hopefully we'll get it from Cloudflare right now. But yeah, that's what's happening. And currently, that's what happened this morning. What a way to wake up, right? Depending if you live here in North America and South America. But what a way to, wake up, to that. But hopefully they'll get it fixed, fully before this day's through, maybe before this morning's through here in the west side, here in the North America, South America side of things. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. What did you think when you experienced this? What was your first thoughts? And are you happy to at least trying to fix it? And do you think maybe anything that I mentioned here was potentially the reason? And which one would you go with? As more logical. Let me know. And until next time, guys, like I said at the beginning, like the video, ring the bell for notifications, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and like I said, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, like the video, and share the video. That's what I was trying to say. And also click on the links in the description to find my content elsewhere outside of YouTube and to support me outside of YouTube as well. But guys, give me your thoughts overall. I do apologize if I stumbled on my words here at the beginning and the end. It's early. It's 7:52 as I'm wrapping this up. And until next time, guys, I will talk to you all later. God bless. Take care.